Welcome to part 2 of my top tips getting your garden ready for the autumn. We're going to have 3 more awesome gardeners this week who are going to give you their top tips, and I'm going to give you 2 of mine. Hi, I'm Robin. Welcome to Robin's Container Garden. What a difference a week makes. When I filmed last week's video, it was 15 degrees and I was still pulling tomatoes off the vines that are left outside. Today, it's 8 degrees and we're actually expecting our very first frost tonight. So it's all kicking off. So I wanted to introduce you to our gardeners for this week. First of all, we have Janette from The Enthusiastic Gardener. She's down in Essex and she has a garden that is attached to her house. And then we have Tony C. Smith from his YouTube channel. He's in the northeast of England and he gardens in an allotment. And then we have Susie. She's from the GrowVeg group. You'll know the GrowVeg group as Ben, who's normally in front of the camera, but Susie, who normally does the background and camera work and does all the website stuff and all of the Twitter and Instagram and Facebook posts, and she also is the person who takes care of the newsletter about bugs, which I think is fantastic. She's going to be in front of the camera this week, so she's going to give us some of her fantastic tips too. So I'll do the same thing as I did last week. What I'll do is I'll introduce you to one of my guest gardeners, and then I'll give you one of my tips. So you get 2 of my tips and you'll get tips from all 3 of them. So let's get started. The first one is going to be Janette, and she is going to talk to you about saving leaves.
Hello there to Robin and all of your wonderful viewers. Thank you for having me on your channel. I'm Janette, by the way, and I've been asked to say what are my tips for getting ready for winter. My tips are, in this particular garden, I have stacks and stacks of leaves. So I'm getting rid of leaves. Every weekend I do a little bit more, and I have a wonderful system, which I've just started, of collecting leaves for beautiful leaf mould. Let me show you. So yes, here in my garden you can see I have so many leaves everywhere. So what I thought was a little leaf collecting system. Behind my cabin there is a little gap enough for putting in some bins, and I've bought 5 of these big garden waste bags, and I've been putting all my leaves in here, as you can see, adding some each week. I've put a load of water all over them, slits in the bottom as well, and then hopefully, let me back out, I will have beautiful leaf mould in around about 6 to 12 months. I have a lot of material to collect. This is where they all come from, the other side of my garden. But they're my garden gold. So that is what I'm up to, and that is my way of getting ready for winter. So I'm really interested to hear everyone else's tips, and I think that if we can do as much as we can this side of, I'm going to say the C word, Christmas, then by the time spring comes, we'll be ready, because it's very, very busy then. Take care and thank you for watching. Bye everyone.
Thanks for that, Janette. What a great tip. What I'm actually doing with my leaves is I'm putting them behind my compost bin back there, in between the hedge and the compost bin. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. This is the first year I've actually tried to make leaf mold. So hopefully that will work for us. My first tip for you this week is going to be my new motto for next year, and that is grow something. Not grow something or grow something, but grow something. Anything. It doesn't matter if it's a cactus or if it's a herb or a flower or a vegetable. It doesn't matter. Grow something, especially in the winter. The winter months are dark and they're dreary, and here we have really, really short days, And it's kind of soul destroying sometimes, especially when it's really wet and really dark and really cold and all you want to do is just stay in the house and hunker down. But if you're growing something, you've got something to nurture and you've got something green, either outside in some kind of like a covered area, like a polytunnel or a greenhouse, or even outdoors. Now, at the moment, I'm growing lettuce out here, and I know it's not going to last. As soon as we have that first frost, it's going to die off, but I'm going to try to get that put in our half greenhouse tonight before it goes below zero. Hopefully that will save it and I'll be able to do something with it over the weekend. But here you see I've got some winter spinach, and that stuff's really good, by the way. I did plant it early, so that's why it's as big as it is at the moment. But I have just ordered some seeds, and in those seeds I'm going to put some pictures of some of the stuff. I've got some kale. I've got some kale Brussels sprout cross, which I think are going to be kind of cool. I've also got some winter hardy spring onions, which doesn't make any sense because spring onions kind of makes you think about spring, but these particular spring onions are winter hardy. So I'm going to give them a shot. I'm going to try growing them in the house, or I'm going to grow them outside in the polytunnel. Not polytunnel. I don't have a polytunnel. In the half greenhouse. And I might even try to put some outside and see how they do in the open air. But one of the main things that I'm going to do, there's a doggy. One of the main things I'm going to do is get them started indoors, and then I'll harden them off and get them put outside wherever they're going to end up. So that's my first tip for today. The next gardener that you're going to meet is Tony C. Smith. You probably already are familiar with Tony C. Smith, but he is going to talk about strawberries in November. So it'll make sense. I'm sure it will. So here's Tony.
Hello everyone, my name is Tony Smith, and a big thank you to Robin for inviting us over to Robin's channel. Just to tell you a little tip that I'm doing now. This bed is my strawberry bed, and for 3 years now I've had the same strawberries in it, but I took them all out this year because my mum told us only 3 years you get worth of strawberries, then you either have to use little runner shoots off the same plant and bring them on, or bring in new plants. And my mum always says to me, bring in new plants. So that's what I've done. I've ordered new plants, but this soil, because I covered it with weed membrane to stop the weeds coming up and to keep the strawberries nice and clean. This bed hasn't been fed for 3 years. So in here, it's just well-rotted compost. This is probably about 2-year-old compost now from me own, just from the allotment itself. So just get that on there and just give it a nice cover. And I'm basically just going to leave it because the strawberry plants will be going in, hopefully, when they arrive in October. You know, sometime now they'll be going in October, November. So that there is just giving it a great little feed. And if you can do that with all your containers as well, just put some nice feed on, that would be fantastic. A big thank you to Robin, and do pop over to my channel and see how I sometimes fail and sometimes succeed. Take good care. Thank you, Robin.
Thanks for that, Tony. Now I get it. I think that's a great tip. I haven't grown strawberries, but I will be growing strawberries hopefully next year. So I'll have to keep that. I'll have to put that in my, I'll have to put that little idea in my pocket and see how we get on. My next tip is going to be the dirty C word. Cleaning. Nobody likes to clean, especially when it's cold and gross outside. But if you clean now, then you'll be happy that you did it in the spring when you need to start using your containers and your instruments and everything again. Even the little 3-inch pots that you use to grow your seedlings in this year, they need to be good and clean so you can start over from scratch next year. So that is just going to have to be something that you're going to think about. Even if you do it a little bit at a time. Do a few containers every weekend, and by the time spring comes and you need them, they'll be clean, they'll be ready, and all you have to do is pull them out of their storage space and put the soil in it and start using it. So that's going to be my second tip for this week. And our next gardener is Susie from the GrowVeg group, and she's going to give you her top tips for the winter garden.
Hi Robin, Susie from GrowVeg here with one of my tips for putting my garden to bed in the autumn. First of all, we're going to dig out the compost in the middle tub and put that into these ones here. Then we're going to dig out the leaf mould, which has been in there for a year, into the middle one and mix it with all this new stuff. Dig that into there. There should be at the bottom of that a nice layer of really good compost, and then everything that's in the bins here are going to be spread all over the veg plot behind. We're going to do 2 inches over all of that and give it a really nice blanket of really good fresh compost and mulch. Second tip, anybody that knows me and follows the Big Bug Hunt will know that I'm an insect fanatic. So what I like to do is to find as many self-seeded free plants as I can in the garden and put them all in our big border, which is 10.5 foot wide by 50 feet, full of pollinator plants for next spring. And I found lots of rose campion and foxgloves and Canterbury bells and white mallows and lots of lovely verbascum seedlings, which are all ready planted up for the bees for next year. Here in the greenhouse I take cuttings and I plant all the hardy perennial seeds that are left over from this year. These are our chives, which are going to be great habitat for bees, beautiful pink flowers, perennials. We've got sweet peas here, we've got great annual grasses which give protection for beneficials, all planted up, all ready to go for next season. Hi, this is my fourth thing I do before winter. I collect my seeds. These and dry them on the windowsills. There's nothing like a free set of seeds for a good start for next year, and especially if they're your own ones. So these are blue lake beans. These are a couple of different types of sunflowers for the birds. These are the purple podded Blaustocker peas we did this year, and beautiful zinnias, although they do take a long time to grow in our growing climate, and 3 types of mixed nasturtium seeds, which are beautiful for trap cropping, and also the bees love them. So thanks for listening. Bye Robin.
That's great, Susie. Thank you so much for participating in this video, and thank you again to Janette from The Enthusiastic Gardener and to Tony C. Smith, who were in this week's video. I will put links to their YouTube channels down in the descriptions, so don't miss that. Go and have a look at their channel, subscribe, and tell them I sent you. And I also want to say a special thank you to last week's gardeners as well, Mark and Eli and Scott. You guys were all fantastic. Thank you all for making these 2 videos really special, and I think we've really made a difference because people are commenting and they're letting us know that these tips were very helpful. Now, I'm going to be doing some really exciting things over the next few months. And you don't want to miss any of those cool videos that are coming up. So all you have to do, just remember, subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell icon so you'll not miss anything coming up. We are probably going to have our first frost tonight. I am freezing. My fingers are frozen and numb. Like I said, it's 8 degrees out here. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this lettuce over here. I'm going to get that in our half greenhouse so it doesn't freeze tonight. And until next time, take care. Stay safe. Bye, y'all.